Hello. You know how we get taxed, and then we get taxed on top of tax, and then the rich seem to get richer and the poor get poorer. That seems to be the general consensus in the UK, and probably pretty much across Europe and America and everywhere. So, what are the alternatives? Well, I think I've got one, and I'd like to know what your views are, and if you can kind of make this a bit like go viral, then maybe some politicians might pick up on this absolutely magnificent idea. Basically, scrap income tax, national insurance, corporation tax, all taxes as we know it, VAT, the whole lot. We scrap everything and start afresh. And we start with one simple tax, which is a sales tax. So everything you buy, every service, all your wages, everything is subject to 6%. That's it. You can't claim anything back. So not like VAT where you put 20% on top and then the company claims that back and things like that and messes about. No, you get an invoice of £100 plus tax, £6. That goes to the Treasury. 1% goes to the local authority of either where the purchaser is, or if it's wages, where the employee lives, and 5% goes straight into the treasury, and it will pretty much eradicate tax avoidance and tax evasion. A really simple way of dealing with everything. You won't have loads and loads of civil servants having to collect all this money. And you won't have people, as they do now, committing VAT fraud and income tax fraud, because at 6%, it's not worth it, is it? So it's dead easy, a dead easy tax system, and I think it can work, but it can only work if the government want it to work. But I'd like to know what your views are. I don't just do an off-the-cuff remark. Actually sit down and work it out. Because let's say that you go to a farm and buy some grain, and this grain is £500 per tonne. Okay, so you buy £14,000 worth of grain plus 5%. Then that gets processed, and then whatever it gets made into, say if it's say wheat and it's flour. So then that flour is then worth 28 grand. Plus, you got your 5% plus the 1% for the local authority. So you've got a total of 6% on top of the 28 grand. Then it goes into making bread. So each loaf of bread, let's call it £1 each, becomes £1.06. But all the people in that factory, say they're on 30 grand a year, that's what will go in their bank, because they'll effectively be charging the company for working 30 grand a year plus 6%. And it goes on and on and on. So we'll all get taxed, but it's a real simple way of doing it. Your roofer comes along, how much to do that slate? 100 quid, so it's 106. He's not going to avoid paying it because it's only 6 quid. So I'd be interested to know what your views are.